Now, if we've got the empirical formula, and you might remember that we looked at calculating empirical formulas, or we'll look more at how we're going to calculate our empirical formulas later. But what we want to know, what we're focusing on at the moment is, well, if we have the empirical formula, then how can we find the molecular formula? And this is often the, if you like, it's the last part of the question on percent composition, and so you need to be able to do this to get full marks. So just say that's our empirical formula. What will happen is the question will then tell you the molar mass. Now I know that we haven't talked about moles yet, so just accept at this stage that 84 grams is telling me that I've got 1 mole of my compound, and a mole is a measure of quantity. Okay, so I've got one serving, and the empirical formula is this. So how do we go about working out what the molecular formula is with these two pieces of information? Well, the first thing that we need to do is to work out the empirical mass. Okay, so calculate empirical mass. So you could have an E, for example, and a bracket CH2. That's going to be 12 plus 2 times 1.008. Is going to be what? Say about 14. 1016. No, we can't really write that. Okay, so that's my empirical mass. And then to work out what factor we need to use to multiply this in order to find out the molecular formula, we divide the molecular formula, the molecular mass, by the empirical mass. So when I divide 84 by 14, I get 6. Yeah? And so my last step is to multiply everything in the empirical formula by 6, by this number that the factor that I found at part 2. So that would then, in this case, mean that the molecular formula is C6H12. Okay? It's not this, right? Because that would tell me that I had 6 pieces of 1 carbon with 2 hydrogens attached to it. Whereas this is telling me that this is a molecule, and these are all the bonds in the molecule. So that's what we're trying to find. So if we use that process then, and I tell you that the molar mass of this molecule is 180, can you tell me what the molecular formula for the second one is? If you just use those 3 steps. Yeah. what we did up here was we used the atomic mass of carbon and 2 lots of the atomic masses of hydrogen, because that's what we have in our empirical formula. That's right.